Hello guys, Sadak Pandey here from Indian VFX School and you are watching Basic to Advanced Flip series inside of Houdini. If you like the content, make sure you subscribe and join our Facebook page. You can also head to our website and check out our courses on Houdini, Phoenix FD, Typeflow, etc. and book yourself for 7 days free demo class. And watch by yourself how some of the students have made to the top studios in just 2 months of our course. Hello guys, welcome back to this chapter, and in this one we are going to see how we can mesh our simulation, how we can cache it, and how we can just render it out. Okay, so in order to mesh it, we need to first cache our simulation, and we are going to see like how we can cache it first before meshing and rendering it. Okay, so you can see we are having this simulation, and right now it's getting stored into our RAM. Okay, so the flip simulation is being stored in our RAM first. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just go here and I'll make a new folder. I'll call it Geo, and I'll just give it a name of cache. Okay, I'll go inside this one, and in order to cache it, we need to bring our simulation first. So I will just use this DOP.io. So DOP.io is used for bringing any simulation from DOPNet to the SOP level, and I can just copy this flip path over here, and I can just paste it over here. Okay, so this way we will be able to bring our simulation. So right now this is referring to the location, and in the preset we need to choose what we need to bring. So we need to bring this flip flute. Okay, so basically this will bring three things. So first thing is velocity, so which will be used in motion blurring or simulation. Then we have this surface field. So surface field is sometimes useful when we are doing some like meshing, when we don't really have the particles in depth. Okay, and we will go on to that part later in chapters. And we have this main geometry thing, which is like our points, and which we are going to like use for the meshing itself. So the first thing is using a file cache node. So if you bring down this file cache, you can just cache your simulation to the disk. Okay, and if I click on this one, so the first thing is base folder, and I can just click this open floating window, and I will just go to this my desktop, make a new folder. I call it flip. Go inside this. Okay, and again I'll make a new folder and I call this particles. Okay, and I'll go inside this one also. So here, like how do you store it? So you can name it whatever you want. I can just call it particles, but make sure you always have this $f in the end. So once you have this $f, that means it's going to save for every frame, and it's going to increment every frame. Okay, click on this accept, and now you can just click on this save to disk, and it's going to save the simulation into the disk. So it's going to do the simulation. Meantime, it's also going to save it in your disk. Okay, and it's good if you have a STD solid state drive. So saving and the loading thing will be lot faster, like maybe almost 10 to 20 times faster as compared to a regular hard disk. Okay, so let us just save it and we will come back. All right, so I'm just going to interrupt the simulation in between, and we have already cached some of the frames. So in order to load these particles or the cache, make sure you click on this load from disk, otherwise it's not going to load. And if you click on this load from disk, you will just basically have your particles back in your Houdini. Okay, and now you can just scrub them through the timeline, and you will see the change in the real time. Okay, so now the part is like how we can mesh them. So just drop down a particle fluid mesh, fluid surface, sorry, and this will be used for meshing or simulation. So right now, right away, you will see you will have some of this thing, and it might not look good because the particle separation, it's being set to some other value. So make sure you go over here and copy the right particle separation. So just copy parameter and paste it over here, and you will see it's going to look a lot better. Okay, so also it took a little bit of time, so that's why we need to also cache our flip mesh to the disk. So once again, what I can do is I can just go back and bring this down file cache node. Okay, you can just make a new one, or I'll just use the same one. And if you click on this, obviously it's going to show you particles because it's loading them from the disk. So just uncheck this one, and again I'll just go back over here and I will make a new folder. I call it mesh. Go inside this, and again I can name the file as a mesh only, and make sure just to have a $f in the end. So it's going to execute for each and every frame. Now I can just click on this save to disk again, and let it just store the mesh also. All right, guys. So the meshing and the caching of the meshing is is being done, and you can see now we can scroll it in the real time because it's already being stored in our disk. Okay. So now it's time to render it out. Okay. So first of all, I will just add a null and I will just call it my fluid mesh. So we can just render this level itself, but to render it, I just want to keep everything clean. So you can see here the source was done, here the caching is done, here the simulation is done, and now when I want to render it, again I can just make a new folder. Okay, so this will just keep everything really organized, and I will just use a object merge, and I will just paste this part. Okay, so I will just copy this, Control C, and I can just paste it over here. Okay, in the object tabs. So this will this object merge can bring simulation from DOP, SOP, and everywhere. So you must be thinking, why didn't we use DOP IO like we use this thing over here? So this is only used when we want to bring our simulation from the DOP level. But when we want to transfer it across the SOP level, we don't really need to do that. We can just use this object merge, because also this is not a simulation. This is more like a cache. Okay. So now, because we want to render it, we can just call it fluid mesh. Okay. And in order to render it, I will just need a light. So I can just use an environment light and HDRI. So I'll just click on this environment map tab and click on my desktop, and I will just load an HDRI over here. And you will see it will just get loaded. And if you just click on this thing, you will see the HDRI on the background. If you don't want to see it, you can just click enable light in viewport. You can toggle it off, and you can just click on this one also, just to bring the basic shading in the viewport. Okay, now if I want to render it, I will just go into this rendering tab and make sure this is set to your current camera. So if you're using any camera, it will come over here. You can use that. Right now I'm not having any camera, so I will just use this scene view and I will click on this render, and it will start rendering everything. So this button is quite important, because like, let's say if this thing is turned on, it's going to render everything in an adaptive mode. Okay, so it will like clear all the image at once. Okay, and it will take time and just keep on clearing it. And if you click somewhere, you can just force that area to render first. Okay, I mean, you can set the priority to the for that area to render first. And if you just click this again, so now it will switch to the bucket mode, and it's going to like render each like little bit of area at once. Okay, not at once, I mean once at a time. Okay, so you can just choose any one of them. And now, because we need some materials over here, so in order to have some materials, we can go back and we can just click on this material palette, and we'll be using some pre-made materials. So if you just type basic liquid, you will get this basic liquid. And if you bring it over here, and if you double click this, you can just copy this path. Okay, so you can just copy the path of this basic liquid, Control C, go back to your object level, and in this fluid mesh, in the render tab, I can just paste it on the material section. Okay, and this way, if I go back into my render view and if I click, you can see we are already having something, and we are getting this render thing. Okay, and again, you can click on this button, so it will set back to the adaptive mode, and everything will be rendered at once, so we can have a better idea of how it's looking. Okay, and okay, so if I go back into my material section, okay, so by default, this liquid shader, it comes with some diffuse. We don't really want that, so I will just click on this enable diffuse, and now we won't have any diffuse. So right now you can see it's very clear, and like most of the time whenever we are having some liquid, it's always having some impurities built into that. So that is something which gives it some color or anything like that. Okay, so obviously you can do that by refraction. You can change the color of the refraction over here. So if you come over here, you can maybe change the color of the refraction and maybe uh, desaturate it a bit. So you will have something like that. But in order to make it look, more natural, we can use something like fog color, which we see in V-Ray and all. So we can use that thing, which will, simulate a kind of fog inside of water, and it will just make everything look a lot better. Okay. So if I just cancel this thing, I can just put it refraction to 1111. Okay. And I'll just go back into my material palette. Okay. And okay. So first of all, in order to have that fog thing, we need to make a duplicate of our geometry. So I will just go over here, fluid mesh, and I will just duplicate this one, and I will call this fluid volume. Okay. Now go back to your material palette. I will just turn this one off. Okay. Go back to your material palette, and this time I will use a uniform volume. Okay. It's known as uniform volume. So this will generate some smoke kind of thing inside our liquid. Okay. Double click on this one, and now we have this uniform volume, and I want to copy this one and paste it in my fluid volume thing. So this way, so what this is really doing is, like, like impure water, it has particles and all those small substance dissolved in it. So that is what we are trying to render over here. So now you can see we are rendering this thing as a volume, as a smoke, and this is same thing like what we have in Arnold and V-Ray, the fog color. Those, so this is like same thing over there. Okay, and the only thing is we have to set it manually over here. So if I now turn on this fluid mesh also, which will also get rendered at the same time. So now you will see we will have something inside our fluid mesh, and it will have some foggy color into it. Okay, so if I go back into my material palette and double click on this uniform volume, I can now change the color and I can put it to this bluish color, and you will see we will have something like this. Now it will look like a lot more natural. Okay, once again I can just check the settings, like if everything is like working fine over here, and yeah, it is. Make sure you don't really have any kind of diffuse. Okay, and also you can also increase this cloud intensity. So if you increase this, you will have more deeper color to your liquid. Okay, and also you can just change the color anytime you want. You can have a lighter, or you can change the tint of it. Okay, and maybe I'll put it to, let's say, something like 2, and I will just render it again. Okay, so you can see now we have rendered this out and it's looking something like this, and it's a lot better than just having a refractive water. And this one looks a lot better. Okay, so now we will see how we can just save this thing to the disk. So just go into your object level, and obviously you need to have a camera in order to set the resolution, or if you don't want to do that, you can just, if you don't want to have a camera, you can just go into this out section. Okay, here there are some important things. By default, this max resample will be set to 9. You can just change it to 4. Okay, you can decrease this noise level. Okay, so by default, whatever it's set, that will just work fine. Okay, change the rendering engine to physically based rendering. By default, it's set to like ray tracing, so this one is little bit better, but I don't really find any difference between both. Okay, so now because we want to render it, so here is one thing. It says override camera resolution, and you can just put your resolution by default, like your own resolution over here. Or if you just you can use this over specified user specified resolution, and you can just put whatever you want, or you can just use the resolution from the camera. Okay, now how we can save it to the disk. Okay, so once again, same thing. If you go into this and then here is an output picture option, so you can just click on this one. Okay, go into this desktop, and again I will choose my same folder, and here I will just call it like render. And again, same thing, whatever you want to name, just make sure you have a $f in the end, and dot now the extension in which format you want to save. So I want to save it in the EXR format, so I can just do that, and I can just click on this accept, and I can just click on this render to disk, and now it's going to render and save it to the disk. Okay, so we have already seen how we can like cache our particles, mesh them, and again save it to the disk by using a file cache node. Then how we can render the simulation. Okay, and that is it for this series, and obviously we are going to make more tutorials on the flip series, and that will include like ocean rendering and all that stuff. So make sure you subscribe and take care. Bye bye.